Episode 147, 5 Drinks to Midnight. The show, we bring the questions, guests bring the drinks, we try to wrap up before midnight. Today, we are headed to Analogue to talk to Michael De Souza, whiskey maker for Paul John Whisky. But before we do, like and subscribe, leave a comment if you like the episode. Really help us push us in the algorithm. Let's get started. Thank you so much for joining me. 5 drinks or midnight. 5 drinks, 5 questions, midnight, whatever comes first. Thank you so much for joining me on Analogue. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I guess question one, because again, you look real thirsty. What are we drinking?
Well, we are having a highball made out of Nirvana.
Okay.
Okay, Nirvana is one of the expressions from Paul John.
Okay.
It's a 40% ABV from ex-bourbon cask. Easy to drink, especially made for cocktails.
Okay.
And also for as a sipping whiskey.
Very nice. Cheers.
Cheers.
That is... Fuck yeah. For a day like it is today in New York, that is perfect. So,
we Indians, we love our highball.
Okay.
We never drink, we as in Indians, in the majority of the Indians, we never like, neat.
Okay.
We prefer to add, mixers.
Okay.
So that's how the Indians drink.
Okay. Awesome.
So this whiskey is perfect for highballs.
So then, not even question one, but like in Indian culture then, is like cocktails more of a thing than a straight pour kind of?
Not really. Cocktail is a trend now.
Okay.
But having said that, it's not like the US. India is hot. It's not that easy to consume whiskey neat.
Okay.
So preferably people, add soda or ice or any other mixers to consume whiskey.
So then more just highball culture, like awesome. Fuck yeah, I'm down for that. That's awesome. Cheers. Alright, so question one, always an origin story, but how'd you get started in the whiskey making business?
Well, actually, I had a lot of fascination and passion for alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah, from the day one. So I grew up, Christian family.
Okay.
When I say Christians, alcohol is associated, with every day. I mean, your life. So whether if somebody is born or somebody is dying or for weddings, all the alcohol is always associated. So that's where my passion started.
Okay.
So actually, I grew up as an athlete.
Okay.
I used to play hockey.
All right.
Yeah. Apart from hockey, my other hobby was, alcohol.
Okay.
So I had decided, if not, sports or hockey, I want to become something. I want to get into alcohol industry.
Your title, again, I absolutely love it because you classify yourself as whiskey maker, not blender, not distiller, because you do both jobs. Can you tell us a little bit about why that title came about?
Well, I mean, if you comparing with bigger distilleries like Buffalo Trace, we are relatively small.
Right.
Buffalo Trace, they have master distiller, they have master blender. At Paul John, I'm the only person currently doing both the jobs.
Okay.
So in a way, I make whiskey, right? So I call myself as whiskey maker.
Okay. So then, since you do both jobs, being a distiller and a blender, do you ever have like weird conversations with yourself about blaming the distiller versus blaming the blend on how your whiskey turns out?
Well, yeah, I mean, in a way, yes.
Well, I think, that's question one. That's a damn good origin story, and On to question 2. Cheers.
Cheers.
Question 2, drink 2. What are we drinking?
Well, this is a cocktail called Rocking Chair.
Okay.
Made out of Sazerac rye whiskey.
All right.
So I'm a big fan of
Cheers.
American whiskey as well.
Okay.
So because American whiskeys has got so much character. This is one of the reason I love it.
Okay.
So this is made out of rye whiskey. Rye is more spicier.
Yep.
Has got more punch. So I love it.
I'm a big rye fan as myself. So again, this is gorgeous. It looks beautiful, and that mint is really nice. That question. What do you like? What is your favorite spirit that you'd like to drink? I mean, obviously whiskey, but like American-wise, like, do you have a favorite?
Yes, I mean, I love bourbon whiskeys.
Okay.
I'm a big collector of bourbon whiskeys.
Okay.
I mean, I have a lot of whiskeys from different distilleries.
Nice.
Of course, I mean, my to-go whiskey is Weller.
Okay.
I love wheated bourbon. That too, Weller is my all-time favorite.
Okay.
Apart from Weller and Buffalo Trace bourbons, I love brands like Michter's.
Okay.
I like Belmont Reserve, Noah's Mill.
All right.
Yeah, Willett Rye.
All right. Very nice.
Yeah. Then I like Russell's Reserve.
Okay.
Old Granddaddy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like you said, collector. How many how many bottles you got in your collection?
It could be hundreds of bottles.
Oh, shit.
Mix of different whiskeys from different countries. I also like Scotch whiskeys, Irish whiskeys.
All right.
I'm a big fan of Australian whisky.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah.
If there was one crown jewel that you'd want to have in your collection, what would it be?
Of course, Pappy Van Winkle.
Okay.
Pappy 23 maybe.
All right.
I am so confident that we're going to close this thing that I'm going to order the Pappy Van Winkle. I know it's pricey, but I want to spiritually invest in our success.
I'll tell you what, if you didn't order the Pappy, I'd send your raggedy ass back out to the car to listen to the Get Psyched mix to get your mind right.
All right, so then question 2. India is such a vibrant culture. How do you bring that vibrancy in with Paul John?
Well, I think the environment plays a huge role.
Okay.
India is hot, humid. I mean, especially I'm talking about Goa, where we are located. It's humid, has a wonderful tropical climate. Whiskey matures differently here.
Yeah.
Because of the heat and humidity. The interaction between the wood and the liquid is quite rapid.
Yep.
So the extraction is 4 times higher compared to colder regions. So you can see the color here.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
The amount of extraction that you get in India is, we say, 1 year of extraction is equivalent to 4 years of extraction in a colder region.
All right.
So this makes whiskey more powerful, more bolder, more richer. And also, our philosophy is different. I always tell people, whiskey tastes differently because of the philosophy.
Okay.
I believe whiskey is closely connected to human beings. So,
love that.
Your approach towards whiskey making.
Okay.
It's all about how you process your grain, you do your fermentation, distillation, and at the end of the day, the type of cask that you use makes whiskey different.
Okay.
And also, we wanted to create something unique. As you know, India is massively diverse nation. We have different color, different cuisine, different religion, different languages. So similar vibrancy we wanted to have inside the bottle.
Okay.
Is
there an expression that you find that represents your personal personality out of everything that you've made so far? Like, Being like, if we were to have a bottle, be like, oh, that's Michael in a bottle, like.
Okay, I'm a liberal.
Okay,
right?
All right.
So, as a liberal, I believe that liberals are, more balanced.
Okay.
So I have a tattoo here of Libra.
Okay.
So, my approach. I try to make whiskey that is well balanced.
Okay.
Okay. So that was number one. If you ask me, my to-go whiskey is we have something called Classic.
Okay.
It's a whiskey matured in ex-bourbon cask, aged between 7 to 8 years.
Okay.
Bottled at higher ABV. It's very complex. I love ex-bourbon cask finished whiskies. So if you ask me, I would say Classic.
Classic. All right. Well, there we go. That was 4 questions for question 2. So that was awesome. Thank you, sir. Cheers.
Cheers.
Question 3, drink 3. What are we drinking?
We are drinking E.S. Taylor small batch.
All right.
As I said, I'm a big fan of bourbon, and especially E.S. Taylor. It's superb.
Yeah.
It's very sweet on the nose, very chocolatey.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of wood character here. It's round. It's spicier.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. Oh, cheers.
Because I love Buffalo Trace bourbons. I think if you ask me, they have one of the best barrel management in the world.
Okay.
When it comes to whiskey making, I just love their bourbons.
I agree. This is just so damn nice. Alright, so question 3. We call this our talking trash segment because we've had 3 drinks now, so we're a little bit more honest and we're, getting to know each other, so we're okay to talk a little shit. Paul John has gotten quite the global acclaim. What do you feel separates you guys apart from other single malts?
Well, I think every single malt is different.
Yeah.
Because, as I said, whiskey is something. It is closely connected to human beings. What differentiates whiskeys is that the approach toward whiskey making. Every distillers, every whiskey makers, approach towards whiskey making is different. So this makes every whiskey unique. Then also, I firmly believe that every whiskey maker, regardless of which country he belongs to, he will have something or somebody on his mind or as an inspiration. Correct.
Yep.
So when you create something. So in a way, whiskey makers or the blenders' emotions are bottled.
Yeah.
So there is no good or bad whiskey. Every whiskey is different.
Right. Exactly.
Secondly, as I said, India is different. Where in which the maturation happens is different. So Goa has wonderful tropical climate. Salt is in the air. During the course of maturation, the liquid not only it interacts with the wood, it also interacts with the outside world. It absorbs a lot of salt from the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So our whiskey are more minerally in character.
All right.
This is the difference.
I love it. You kind of said this now twice, and I love this. That whiskey is tied in with a human being. Can you explain more of that philosophy? Because I absolutely.
Everybody knows that whiskey is, especially single malt, is minimal and modest. Regardless of which area, which country it is being produced, we all use similar ingredients. That is malted barley, water, and yeast. That's it. Yet we end up making different styles.
Okay.
This is because the equipments are different. Not only the equipments are different, entire whiskey making process also makes a huge difference. Okay, for example, the entire whiskey making process is 50% science and 50% is art.
Okay.
Right. So, for example, some people use different kind of yeast, different temperature to do their fermentation.
Yep. Yeah.
Then the design of the pot still also makes a lot of difference. Then finally, the type of cask that you use. So every whiskey maker has his own ideas.
Okay.
Right. This makes whiskey taste differently.
Okay.
Apart from the environment. So that's why I said, I mean, your philosophy is more important. Unless and until your approach toward whiskey making is good, you cannot make good whiskey.
And is there a style of whiskey that you would want to like maybe mimic or play with? You said like you're a big fan of Irish or like bourbon. Like, would you? Again, I know bourbon can't be made anywhere outside of the United States, but like, would you want to play around with a Paul John-esque bourbon? Like maybe you do a special run at Buffalo Trace or anything. Like, is there a style that you'd want to mess with that you could play and blend with, or maybe even better yet, partner up with, like do a blend with?
Well, okay. Now, Paul John does not have age statement.
Yep.
None of these whiskies have age statement, right? So we make two different types of liquid. One is peated, the other one is non-peated.
Yep.
Okay. Out of these two liquids, we create different expressions. Every expression tastes differently. Okay. So some are from ex-bourbon cask, later aged or finished in alternative barrels or casks, such as Spanish wines, Portuguese wine casks, rum barrels, etc. Right? So in a way, we have made whiskies or all kind of, all sort of styles.
Sure.
We have peated whiskies, which
Yeah.
is close to
Scotland.
Isle of Mort. Scotland.
Yeah.
We have something. This is a Zodiac series. This particular whiskey is initially matured in virgin oak,
Okay.
and later finished in ex-bourbon cask.
Alright.
It is more towards bourbon style.
Okay.
Right. So you have Nirvana here, which is bottled at 40%.
Which is what we had in our first drink.
Exactly. It is bottled at 40%, chill filtered, used for cocktails. In a way, it is very light, mellower, more like Irish whiskey.
Okay.
Then we have heavier, sherry whiskey as well.
Okay.
It's more towards Scottish, correct?
Yeah.
So most of the Scotch whiskies are sherry whiskies.
All right.
So we have, yes, I mean, in a way, we have created whiskies of different styles.
Okay.
For different palates.
And then not looking for secrets or anything, but is there like an ingredient that or barrel that like you'd want to work with in the future, like a Mizunara cask, or like play around with something?
See, I mean, I think whiskey is all about innovation,
Yeah.
right? It's all about experiments. So yes, for definitely, we would like to try different type of woods,
Okay.
but not necessarily Mizunara.
Okay.
Because Mizunara is more porous.
Yeah,
because in
and I've
India,
heard it's a bitch to work with.
yeah.
So yeah, like
So
it's,
in India,
it leaks and
angel share is.
well, I was gonna say, yeah, like the temperature you said, like it was massive.
Yeah, we lose
like
substantial amount of alcohol
Yeah.
towards the angel share. It's in it's close to 8 to 10%. So it is next to it's. I mean, we can always try a few barrels,
Yeah.
but it is not feasible
Yeah.
to mature your liquid in Mizunara casks.
awesome. Well, I think again, these are all amazing, and looking forward to trying them. So
Yeah,
on to
of
question
course,
4.
yeah.
So cheers.
Yes.
Question 4, drink 4. What are we drinking?
Well, this is Paul John Oloroso.
Oh, very nice.
So, Oloroso is Oloroso wine cask finish.
Okay.
Whiskey, right? It's a 7-year-old dram, bottled at 48%. initial 5 years it was matured in ex-bourbon. The next 2 years it was transferred into Oloroso Spanish wine cask.
Okay.
Correct. We call it as Oloroso and not sherry finish because sherry can be only made in the region of Jerez.
Yeah.
So anything made outside Jerez is not sherry.
Okay.
Since our casks are from the region of Montilla, we cannot call it as sherry finish.
Gotcha.
Instead, we call it as Oloroso cask finish.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Except here in the States, we make sherry all the time, and that I still confused by that. So again, but cheers.
Cheers. On the nose, it's very, very sweet. A lot
So
of
nice.
dark chocolate, dry dates, dry figs, dry raisin, a lot of dry foods.
Fucking love this. Oh yeah, that is just.
Yeah. So, Paul John is one of the very few whiskeys that are heavily sherry.
Gotcha.
Right. So 2 years is a very long time for the finish. Normally the finishes happen in between 6, 8 or 12 months. But 2 years is very, very rare.
Alright, so question 4. As again, 2 roles, master blender and master distiller, has there been a bottle that, or a production that has been difficult for you on both jobs, and what have you learned from those 2 difficult experiences?
Well, I mean, 2 different
Yep.
profiles, 2 different kind of jobs. Blending is more interesting for me.
Okay.
It's more artistic.
Okay.
Actually, your true potential that comes into play is doing blending.
Okay.
Right. It's more
Yep.
creative. On the other hand, distillation is more of a science. It's not easy.
Yep. No.
Because in order to make good whiskey, no matter how expensive is your cask or whatever it is,
Yeah.
unless and until your basics are
Yeah.
perfect, you cannot end up making good whiskey. So you have to stick to your basic. Everything has to be meticulous. You have to have good team. Managing the entire distillation process is not a joke.
Yep.
So yeah, 2 different roles, different profiles, but I enjoy blending more than distilling.
Okay, awesome. I mean, again, I wish that if someone would have, I think I would have paid way more attention in school if someone would have said, chemistry, we can make whiskey, instead of being like, oh, here, we can make some foam explode, blah, blah, blah. Like, it would have been so much better being like, you can actually learn how to make whiskey. I would have paid attention more in school. Like, I feel that is the...
But definitely whiskey, I mean,
Okay.
distillation is very, very interesting. No doubt about that. But, blending is more interesting.
Yeah.
More fascinating.
And I think too, like a lot of people here in the States are kind of even like smaller distilleries are starting to change their titles from master blender to a master distiller, or master blend, or master distiller to a master blender, because they're really getting into that. Like the blending is where the magic really happens, and I think that's. Have you ever had something that like where you distilled and being like, yeah, that's gonna fucking like be awesome, and then when you got to blending, being like, shit, we should have left that in the barrel a few more years, or we should have took it out sooner? Anything along those lines?
Not really, because we don't distill separately for different expressions.
Gotcha. So always blending.
Everything happens similarly. Only when I speak about expressions, it's all about different age, different type of casks, different warehouses. Yeah.
And then, like, how many warehouses? Again, not like, but like, how many warehouses do you guys have? Like, and again, is it kind of like the way like there's like warehouse A, B, and C, or is there?
We have currently we are having 4 warehouses.
Okay.
We are having close to 30,000 casks. We are building one more warehouse for another 30,000.
Wow.
So it will be 60,000. The future goal is to have approximately 80,000 casks, in a single in location.
Wow.
As per Indian standards, it's a lot.
No, that's
Yeah.
huge. Like, I mean, that's
Yeah, but if you compare with urban industry,
Yeah.
it's negligent.
Yeah.
You know, it's insignificant.
Yeah, you're just that big.
You know, we are talking about 5 million barrels or 10 million barrels, in bourbon industry.
And then again, not looking for any industry secrets, but what's next for you guys?
Well, we are trying to, we are relatively new distillery.
Yeah.
We are on a learning curve because, we are just 15 years old. We don't know what's there for us tomorrow, and also in India, whiskey matures, super quick.
Yeah.
Every day whiskey changes. So we don't have much time. So we are going slow. We are taking tiny steps, but proper ones.
Okay.
But having said that, whiskey is all about innovation. It's all about experiments. So we are trying out different types of casks, different warehouses, different locations. So yeah,
No, and I think that's awesome. With that, like, idea that your whiskey is changing drastically. Like, what's a day in the life like for you? Like, are you blend or like distilling and then tasting, or is it like we do a distill run and then taste in the morning? Like, what's a day in the life since you got 2 roles?
My day starts very early.
Yeah.
Very early, as in around 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
When my palate is fresh.
Fresh.
Right. So I do the sampling. A couple of the blends.
Okay.
So I taste the blends, then I release the liquid for bottling. Then I do a couple of barrel tastings. Then the next step is to start the blending process. Try to create different blends, different compositions from different casks. Then I taste the liquid from the various warehouses.
Okay.
So the first half of the day is more into making whiskey. The second half is more into the mix of administration and entertainment.
Okay.
Entertainment, as in we have a visitor center.
Gotcha.
I meet a lot of people there.
Okay.
Because we receive a lot of whiskey enthusiasts. We receive a lot of students from different
Okay.
bartending schools, from hospitality industries. So I interact with them.
Nice.
In a way, we try to create brand ambassadors.
Okay.
Future brand ambassadors.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, I'm a firm believer as a bartender is your best salesperson. So, because again, if they pour something like, for example, like with the Nirvana in a highball, that was fucking amazing. And now, like, you ask me what that is, and
Absolutely.
you tell me, and now I can make that at home. Now, like, just need a bottle of Nirvana, and there you go, done.
I mean, sometimes I wind up early, sometimes very late.
Okay.
So it depends.
Okay.
Yeah. But I enjoy working at the distillery.
All right, awesome. Well, there we go. That's question 4. Cheers. Question 5, drink 5. What are we drinking?
This is one of my favorite.
Okay.
This is called Paul John Mithuna.
Okay.
Mithuna by Paul John, rather.
All right.
We are releasing a series of Indian Zodiac series,
Okay.
right? So Mithuna is for Gemini.
Okay.
Okay, this whiskey is initially matured in virgin oak cask, later transferred into ex-bourbon cask. Okay. Initially, I explained you, India is very hot and humid.
Yeah.
Whiskey matures differently there. Extraction is very, very high. This is just a 6-year-old whiskey.
Oh, wow.
Right? So we could not go beyond 4 years in virgin oak.
Okay.
It was getting too good here.
Okay.
So in order to keep the maturation going and slow down the extraction, we transferred the liquid into ex-bourbon cask from the virgin oak.
All right.
Yeah. So it went on to win the 3rd best whiskey in the world.
Wow.
In Jim Murray's 2021 Whiskey Bible. And this is one of my favorite, and it's one of our highly rated whiskeys in the world.
Awesome. Jeez.
So lot of it's kind of a hybrid bourbon.
Yep.
It's sweet on the nose, lot of dark chocolate, coffee mocha. You have a lot of orange. You have
Citrus.
orange zest.
Yep.
You have a lot of spices. You have ginger, cinnamon.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, you have maple syrup.
Fucking glorious.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What's the price point? Sorry, I didn't mean to ask while you're taking a sip, but
Here, I don't know. It should be around $300.
okay. Fuck, all right.
But in India, it's sold at in Goa, it's sold at 20,000 rupees.
Okay.
So yeah,
Wow, that
it's
is...
it's at cost 10. It's at 58% ABV. So it's a cast 10 whiskey, non-diluted.
That is amazing. Wow. Of course I like it. I'm a bougie bitch, but like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's I like cast 10 whiskeys.
Yeah.
A lot of character. It's big. It's bold. This is one of the reasons I like bourbon as well. It has got so much character.
Yeah. That is so nice. Oh wow. That is... Oh, that's glorious. Alright, so question 5 comes down to the flip of the Whiskey Wednesday coin. You can flip it, you can spin it, you can do whatever you want with it. You don't have to answer. The coin will give us the answer.
Okay.
One side says fuck yeah, one side says fuck no. So it's a yes or no question. So so if you want to pull that out and we get ready to flip the coin.
Can I open this?
Yeah. So, question 5. And again, it's just a silly way to end the night since, we've had 5 amazing drinks. But if you had a chance to go back in time and do it all over again, would you do it? Give it a good spin. There we go. Fuck yeah! That's what we're talking about. There we go. Well, Michael, that is 5 drinks down, 5 questions answered. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
For having me.
Oh, thank you.
It was a pleasure. Cheers.
Thank you, Analogue.